Okay, so what kind of situation do we currently have on CAD CHF? This is a very interesting pair to follow, and we have to perform a full breakdown on it if we want to understand what is the situation at the moment really on this pair. So first of all, let's start from the monthly time frame. Now, on the monthly, we see that the market has created the strong impulse followed by a retracement. Now, if you want to measure a retracement in the market, what are you supposed to be doing? Taking your Fibonacci on the impulse. So from the high to the low of the impulse. And what we can see that the market rejected exactly the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. Now, if you remember, the market was around this area. When we said from here, we want to see the market make a strong move to the downside. And that is exactly what the market has done. If you were able to capitalize on the move to the downside, great job. And I will link that analysis in description for more education so you can go and check it out. Let's go down on the weekly. What we have on the weekly. So on the monthly, we know that we have the impulse, we have the correction. And in general, after an impulse and a correction, you want to see the market make the continuation to the downside. Now we go on the weekly. What do we have on the weekly? On the weekly, we can see that clearly the market has strong weekly previous resistance here, which is now turned support at this area. And the market is currently holding this zone, so respecting it as support. This is very important because on the monthly, everything is pushing down. However, on the weekly, we have weekly support here. Let's go down on the daily. Now, on the daily time frame, what we can see on the daily time frame, we can see that the market has created this information in making the move to the downside. Therefore, you expected this retracement, possibly an even deeper retracement. Why? Because after an information, what do you want to see? You want to see the market complete the information at the previous support, now turn resistance, aka the neckline, as we said, of the W formation. So basically, what kind of situation do we really have in the market? We have a market that is currently stuck. Why is it stuck? Because it's stuck in between this support here, which is the weekly support, and this resistance, which is the daily resistance. And we're supposed to see the market, first of all, go up here to complete the M formation. But in general, inside of this area, the market is bounded. Now, since we are in between weekly support and daily resistance, we won't be looking for any trading opportunity with students on this pair until we will see a clear break, and I will now speak about it. But first, before showing you how we can be looking for a capitalizing opportunity on CAD CHF, let's go and see what kind of situation we have from a CAD and CHF perspective if we look at the COT data, so the commitment of traders, what big banks and institutions are currently doing on the CAD and what they're currently doing on the CHF. Now, if we check the CAD, we can see that currently we're sitting at minus 25K net positions. So we went in the long term from having more longs than shorts on the CAD to having more shorts than longs from an institutional perspective. In fact, we currently have 45K shorts and 19K longs with a 36% short exposure and 15.7% long exposure. So overall, the CAD is quite weak. If we go and see what we have from a CHF perspective, we can see that nothing really interesting has been happening. Basically, the only thing that we can really get from the CHF is that we have a minor in the short-term decrease in net position, so we can expect a little bit of weakness on the CHF. However, with the last report, we still see that they closed 1K shorts. So not much to be taken from the CHF. And that makes perfectly sense because if we go back to the chart, if we remember, we have a situation of uncertainty because the market is in between weekly support and daily resistance. Now, the way in which we will be approaching this with students is very simple. The best thing that the market could do for us is, first of all, go and complete the AMP formation and then break the structure to the downside. If the market will actually do this, so test the structure and then break to the downside, at that point, all time frames are in alignment. We have the monthly time frame showing a bearish structure, the weekly time frame that at that point will have its support broken to the downside, so turned resistance. The daily time frame will have all bearish structure, so at that point, how we will be approaching this with students on the retracement back to the weekly structures, to the previous weekly support, which at that point will be turned resistance. At that point, we will be monitoring price action inside of this area with students, waiting for the market to provide to us one of our valid entries. And as soon as the market will provide to us one of our valid entries, we will be taking a nice short with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities for the move to the downside and creation of a lower low, completing the monthly pattern. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you, and I will see you in the next video.